Special called board budget meeting. Our first item on the agenda today is I have received a request by Mr. Ronnie Jett to participate in the meeting tonight by electronic communications from a remote location due to a personal medical condition. I have approved such participation under the county's adopted remote participation policy and ask that the Board of Supervisors ratify this decision to allow Mr. Jett to participate remotely.
So moved.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second it.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Has Ronnie gotten online? Ronnie, you online yet?
Yes, sir.
All right, glad to have you here today.
Thank you.
All right. Next item on the agenda is the county administrative items and this budget discussion. Tadlock, you have anything you want to bring up, or does any board member want to bring up anything?
What I can do, I can just update you. The board had requested some additional information regarding the capital outlay for the electoral board. I did reach out to them, and they had indicated that the $14,500 additional monies was for emergency purposes in the event that they needed to purchase additional equipment at the last minute. So there was no specific need at this time, but they had just requested those additional monies. I did notice, going back through the document, that they did offer a reduction of $3,000 in their printing line item, so going from $18,000 to $15,000. So I've reflected that and updated that in the document on the screen there, as well as in board docs. There are no questions on that. I did have a question as far as the total reductions from Tuesday night from the board, and including the two items that I just stated. The total reductions was $1,916,174. And I was also asked as far as some different scenarios for the school budget, and we did receive this afternoon some information from the school board related to some items that they were suggesting to reduce.
I hope everybody's had a chance to review the different funding options. All right, any board members have any comments or questions? Do we have anything else you want to add?
No, sir. Unless there are specific questions that I can try to answer for the board.
I guess the board needs a few more minutes to see what they want to do, read through this stuff again. Ronnie, do you have any questions or comments, or you need any more information?
Yes, sir, I'm on here, just waiting and listening.
All right, I didn't know whether you needed anything else or not.
Got a pile of stuff here in front of me.
All right. All right, any questions or comments now? Is the board ready for a motion?
Ready for something.
All right. All right, I'll make a motion then. Motion to approve a school budget in the 7 categories, with instruction funding being $15,196,989, administration and health $1,222,415, pupil transportation $1,369,756, operation and maintenance $2,063,264, facilities $50,500, other debt service transfers $7,859, technology $1,001,107, gives a total operating budget of $20,911,890. All right. Do I have a second to that, or if not,
Where is that compared to what last year's was?
yeah, that will basically give the school system the exact same amount of dollars from the county that we gave them last year. They are receiving a $76,839 additional funding through federal and state, which I have no problem at all with. But this would keep them basically level funded on county money this year.
Still in categories?
Still be in the 7 categories with quarterly appropriations, and this would mean that there would be not a tax increase to the taxpayer this year.
You said quarterly?
Quarterly appropriations.
Don't we vote on that each year?
What was that, Jim?
Quarterly, don't we vote on that each year? If they,
We normally do the categories.
yes.
Yes. But if you said quarterly expenditures this time instead of yearly.
Yeah, quarterly expenditures, or quarterly appropriations, what you want to call it. That would be broken down into 4 different payments to them.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, with that additional $76,839, the instructional line item, or somewhere in that, would need to be increased by that amount.
All right, what would that amount be if we added that 76,000 to it?
If you added that to the instructional line item, it would be $15,273,828. So the total budget would be $20,988,729.
All right, I'm gonna amend my motion to change that part to add that 76,839 into instruction, and we'll change our bottom line to, one more time, Luttrell?
$20,988,729.
All right, that's my motion.
I'll second it.
All right, got a motion second. Any other discussion?
Well, then you're assuming there's sufficient funds already in their budget for their salary increase of 5%. I don't, talking about the step. We're talking about giving county staff 5%.
I
If we
know.
level fund, then
There's somewhere, that's 1.8 million somewhere in there we're trying to find.
Well, trying to find, we want to be fair. We don't want to abuse our
I
power.
know we want to be fair.
We don't want to abuse the power, because I think we abused the power when we gave ourselves a raise. So we want to be fair, you know. We want to make sure they get a raise, just like the county's getting a raise, the amount, you know. So do we have enough in there to make sure they get the raise? Ms. Taylor, asking you that.
Well, according to their sheet, in order to do the 5% plus step would be $1,033,729. Now, I think if we go back, and I know the board had asked some additional questions related to what a 5% the local cost would be. I think we had received that information back. It was about $529,282.
Well, I think it'd be fair for us to give them their raise, what they asked for, because we getting a raise. So, that's what I'd like to see us do. You know, make sure.
All right,
they
it's
get-
all open for comment.
Right. Let's make sure they get the raise.
Ronnie, you have any comments?
No, this time I'll still run a few numbers here, Richard, not ready this second, I don't.
how do you come up with the 1.8 million?
It was in that budget in there. It found, I forgot where it was, Tom, it was 1.8 of funding somewhere that I saw on the front page of that budget. If that money's in there, it covers everything.
But then if it's not,
If it's not,
then
I don't want to cut them short, put it that way. But I'm looking at that 1.8 million. Now we'll find it when I want it. Can't find my paperwork. I bet that's home on the desk.
Well, I'm looking at what Mary Dodson sent us, the monthly summary, and this is through May. What it shows through the end of May, they have an available balance of $891 and change.
All right, yeah, that's summary. It's a summary,
A summary of what has been expended
yeah. But
in all categories.
it hasn't
bottom
been
line-
reconciled.
Well, yeah, it hadn't been reconciled, neither of ours either, but
I don't know. I just don't know. We got to start somewhere. Just don't see what I'm looking for. Any other questions or comments?
Were you referencing I believe it was the auditor's report, page 15?
Yeah, it's in the auditor's
2023-24
report.
budget was a request.
Yeah, that's what I'm referencing.
It gives the categories, admin and health, it was $1.5 million, and actual spent was $1.3 million, so it was like $233,000 left over. Under instruction, it was 16.5 budgeted, 13 million spent, so it was 3.5 million left in that category. Operations and maintenance was 2.2 million, 1.9 spent, 300,000 left. Transportation, 1.8, in that line item, in that category, 1.2 was spent, so 612,000 in that. Technology was 1,864,000 actually was spent, so it was 205,000 left in that. Is that what you're referencing?
Yep, that's where I'm getting information from.
Well, if that was leftover, that should have been put in the county budget.
Yeah, right.
It's been put in-
The school board cannot keep monies into another fiscal year without board approval.
I know
So if
that,
we haven't approved it, it's either gone, as somebody just mentioned, or it's still, either it's gone, it never was, or it's in the county coffers right now. But it can't be in their budget. Because it's, at the end of once the books are closed, June the 30th, any carryover by law comes back to us.
Right. This is right out the auditor's report.
All right, then the question is, where is that money then?
where is it?
It goes to, I'm sure they turn it back into the county.
Well, we were told last time,
Right.
there wasn't any.
I-
But the thing is, it's not in there, that money has not been budgeted in for this current fiscal year. Do you have any idea where the figure is, Mr. Tadlock?
I'm looking at the audit now. What page did you reference on that?
From what I've seen, I think it was page 15, it says, School Board 2023-2024 budget request, page 15 of 61.
That's not the auditor, though, that's,
It may be, it
that's
says
not,
it's
the
school board.
auditor only goes through fiscal year of last year. 2023-24 is the current coming year.
Yeah,
But it's got 2022 actually, that was actually spent.
Well, my understanding, that money is sent back to the treasurer, it's left over.
But we never were given a figure at all. We kept trying to get Mr. Bellows to give us a figure. But I guarantee you, if I'd heard 1.8 million, you would have seen a lot of people cheering, including over here. Because that's about 6 cents on the real estate tax right there. And then our reserve would be a whole lot better too. We could drop that. I don't know. That's the ultimate slush fund, I guess.
Would you have that information, Mr. Tadlock? Are you looking for it?
I'm looking through the audit now, to try and find that page. The audit page is 194 pages, so
Yeah, it
I wasn't sure. Page 28.
What page in the audit you talking about, Mr. Tadlock?
It had just indicated it was page 28, but I'm not seeing the figure 1.8
Page 28 of the actual audit?
of the PDF file.
Okay, that's the
It's
question.
page 12 of the,
Yeah. I was going by PDF, and then you were going by the,
if you look on page 164
yeah,
of the audit, which is the PDF file, at the very bottom, you can see where it's contribution from the County of Northumberland, and this is going to the school operating fund. So I've been referring to the figure 326,394 that the school division had gone over the appropriation. This is where it ties back to we did not receive any funds back from the school division. And this was from the auditor. So it was, final budget was $13,201,701, and the actual was $13,528,095. So with that being a positive number, there was an increase in amount of funding from the county to the school division, so there were no monies returned with that 394. If you go to the bottom of page 133 of the actual document, page 165 of the PDF, you can see where they show the title monies. And they are the title monies that show a negative there, meaning they did not receive all of their monies that they had budgeted. Therefore, they were the monies that the auditor was referring back to in obtaining, and they are the monies that the school division is actively seeking to try and recoup this year, and that's where we will also probably see a windfall of money come back in for fiscal year 23. If you look at page on the expenditure side, Schedule 2, what I just referenced was the revenue side. The expenditure side, if you look at page 136 of the document, page 168 of the PDF file. Let's see, well, it's closer to the bottom, education, contribution to county school board. It shows a negative there, meaning that we paid additional monies out. Again, that was from the auditor stating that we paid additional $326,394, so no money's coming back to the county. If you go down to the expenditures, on page 138 of the document, page 170 of the PDF file, expenditures for the education, and it breaks out administration, health, instruction, pupil, operation, technology. So if you look at the final budget, some of those numbers, like instruction costs, says $16,082,955. Actual expenditure was $13,051,589. So it's a difference of $3,031,366. So my best guess there is that ties back to the ESSER funds that the board had appropriated towards the end of June of fiscal year 22. So that's why you're seeing a large amount there.
But looking at on page 133 of the actual audit, the federal funds, it's showing a total of, just from the federal government, $4.7 million that has not been reimbursed or spent yet or appropriated yet. And so that's all monies that's going to be coming back into the county.
So those federal monies will be coming back to the county, correct? That it's coming via EDI,
Yeah.
the school, but yes, they would be coming back to the county.
So if we're going to have a windfall potentially of, let's just be conservative and say $4 million. There's a fair amount of money that is out there to be used for many things, but one, a zero tax increase. And how you do it is one thing, but we are looking at funds coming in clearly. The school board has been requesting reimbursements right and left, and that's either going to be on this fiscal year or next year, but the bottom line is going to be in the county coffers. That's all I want to say. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a nice position to be in, so to speak.
Well,
Yeah.
I still don't see $1.8 million.
Yeah, and we tried to capture some of that with that 9.5 million undesignated general fund balance,
Right.
so.
Some of it, how much do you think you captured? Or
Um,
how much do you think you did not capture? That's the better question.
we don't know. And that was a discussion that I had with the treasurer in trying to figure out the best estimate for the starting fund balance.
Starting one on this one's not going to be the real critical, it's going to be the ending one. Might be significantly healthier than you anticipate.
all right, any other comments? Ronnie, you have any comments?
No, not at this time, Richard. I said, a little confused there, but trying to get it straightened out, figured out. All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Still want time to discuss, or do you want to go for a vote?
Yeah, I think we need to.
Or you want to make modifications?
Yeah, I think we need to increase it. You said 20 million, right? 119, 890, right? Was that your motion?
Yeah.
20,988,728, if I'm correct. Is that right, Luttrell?
20,988,729, but that may be rounding, but
All right.
that's what I have, 20,988,729.
I am open for discussion on this.
8.
Only way to open discussion is to withdraw your motion. Because
Right.
you've got a motion on the table, either you
I
vote
got
it.
it. It's a motion
or
on the
withdraw it.
floor.
Yeah.
It's still open for discussion. If you don't want any more discussion, we'll call for a vote.
Yeah, I think we need to increase that. That
All right,
amount.
well, let's do one thing or the other. All right. No more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against?
Nay.
Nay.
Ronnie?
I voted nay on that, Richard.
All right, motion does not pass. All right, let's start on it again.
I'll move that
We got
we-
a starting point.
I move that we do scenario 4, which is increase the school, local school funding by 5%.
Would you speak a little louder and clear, Councilman?
Yeah. Scenario 4, increase the school funding by 5%, which would be $664,986.
What tax increase would that include, local?
That's what he proposed, and I'm not proposing any tax increase. I
Yeah.
think we've got to have enough reserve to do it,
That's-
given what's coming back in.
That's a 3-cent tax increase.
But I'm not going to vote for a 3 cent. I'm going to vote for 0 increase.
Well, that's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see
But
a
I
tax
think we've got
increase.
enough money coming in from the school system, just based upon their audit, right now in federal funds, $4.7 million. I think Mr. Tadlock mentioned a windfall. I don't want us to get a windfall and then tax increase at the same time.
So what you're saying, Tom, that we can fund your proposal without a tax increase?
Well, that's what I want to do. Well, that's my motion. Let's put it that way.
All right, that's your
How do you
motion.
go along with that?
You seconding that, Ronnie?
What do you say?
Are you putting a second in?
Yes, I'll put a second on that.
All right,
We can
we got a
fund that
motion and a
without
second.
tax increase.
All right, for no tax increase. All right, now, let's open it for discussion now.
On paper, it will result in a reduction further in our undesignated fund balance. I understand that, but based upon the figures from our auditor, we have sufficient funds. We may be down here, but then next year, we're gonna be up there.
Luttrell, what's your opinion on this?
No, I think that's something that we can certainly evaluate and take a closer look, depending on the federal monies that we do have coming back in. And given the reserve that we have now. That's entirely up to the board, but yeah.
Well, put it this way, if school system doesn't do everything they can to get this $4.7 million, that will be a major problem for them next year. Y'all may appropriately consider not just level funding, but some reductions. There's got to be an incentive. The incentive right now is to get money back into the county coffers that's already been spent. And undesignated, when you start at the beginning of the year, is just a figure. It's what it ends up is the actual one that counts. And again, if it's going to be a windfall, the windfall should be the taxpayer's pocketbooks, not our own.
All right, so your scenario is number 4.
Number 4, with a 0 cent tax, keep the tax rate at 61 cents.
All right, now, you correct me if I'm wrong what I read here. This would increase the school budget $741,825.
But 664,986 local.
Yep, 664,986 local.
Yep.
The 741,825 is state, federal, and
that
local
would-
revenue.
yeah.
And local out of that would be $664,986.
And that'd be a reduction in their budget by $1,678,096.
Yep, $96.
It would, of course, the undesignated fund balance would be different, and the undesignated percentage would be different coming into the year. But again, it's what the auditor is going to look at us at the end, not what we start necessarily with.
All right, I'm just reading what Luttrell has here.
Oh, I know.
That would give us a fund balance of 20.03.
But that's with a 3 cent tax increase.
And that would give us put us to a 64 cent or
Yep.
3 cent tax
But
increase.
the last 2 things on this thing are different. The bottom three, the undesignated balance, Mr. Tadlock would have to make the necessary change. The percentage would necessarily need to be changed, and the tax rate would be changed from 64 to 61, which is the current rate.
Yeah, I just can't see putting a tax increase. I just cannot see that.
Especially not with windfall coming potentially. And I think the school has been diligently of late doing their reimbursements.
Yeah, they are late on getting
And
reimbursements.
some of the ones they've already done will come
in.
in the next fiscal year anyway.
All right, any other comments or questions?
So zero tax increase this year, what will that do for next year?
We got to see the bottom line.
Right.
Well, I think the taxpayers do have to realize there is the possibility for expenditures like waste. It was up $300,000 this year by itself. Then we're going to start paying for the radio system for $400,000. So there's some known, well, the $300,000 for the trash will be this year. But next year, you know there's going to be the radio system. That's a known increase. And we don't know what the General Assembly will do to us next time.
Okay, so
Right,
the
we
total,
have no idea. No idea on any of this. Ronnie, you have any comments?
No, sir.
All right, any other comments? Anybody else?
Yeah, we'll send that.
That
So
one can just say something.
Just for clarification, so it's for a 5% increase to the local cost, no tax increase. And are we doing that, you're looking at categories?
You looking at categories?
I don't have the category figures. Frankly, a 5% increase, if they're looking at a 5% raise, they're going to be hurt. Anyway, if you can come up with the categories, I'm not going to disagree with it, but I
don't think we need them.
it's whatever. I don't think the school system and this Tadlock can come up with that right now.
With that amount, we can have that in the instruction line item.
Can always be transferred.
All right, the 5%, I will amend my motion to, the 5% will be on the instruction.
938, yeah. 814.
And if things need to be transferred, they can come back and ask us.
All right, all other figures will stay the same, and all other category figures will stay the same except for instruction.
I think the school system might appropriately come back to request.
Right.
For some
Yeah, they can
salaries,
come back and
salary
request.
adjustments within those areas, but they'll have a better chance, and they can also move forward. Contracts do need to be let.
Right.
Do you have that number, Welton, whenever you have that number
So
for instruction?
the instruction would be 15,938,814.
What's that, Luttrell?
15,938,814.
And that would give us a bottom line now of, or total of,
21,653,715.
715.
Yes, sir.
All right. Ronnie, do you amend your second?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the motion has been amended. Now, Tommy, just restate your motion one more time, just to make sure we all have it.
All right. To increase, my motion is scenario 4 with modifications. Increase the local school funding by 5%, which is $664,986. And then it will be in the categories as mentioned by Mr. Tadlock. And there would be no tax increase.
All right,
0.61, which is the current tax rate.
all right. I just wanted everybody to hear it one more time.
Never hurts to repeat.
No, it does not hurt to repeat. All right. We have the motion and a second, and it has been amended. Is there any other discussion?
Is it gonna be an annual appropriation or still quarterly?
Your motion quarterly or annually?
I'll go annually.
Right.
We're gonna go annually.
Because the school board has to realize things can be done quarterly next year or whatever. But there are some things that they do, I can imagine there are some things they do want to make a purchase at the beginning of the school year, if nothing else, to save money, because sometimes buying certain things in bulk, you do make certain savings. And I don't want to get don't want to get in the way of saving taxpayer dollars.
All right, any other discussion onto it?
Call for the question.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
All those against?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-2. All right, Mr. Tadlock, what else do you have?
All right, the remainder would just be related to the county budget. So,
All right, we ready to move on to the county budget then?
yes, sir.
We've done some of it with the tax rate.
Yeah, we got tax rate. Just get everything else approved and get this out of the way tonight.
All right, so the first item is, I know the board had indicated that they wanted to leave in the salary adjustment for the board themselves, but I do need a vote, follow-up vote on that. I would need a motion to approve the proposed Board of Supervisors annual compensation to $10,000 annually starting January 1st, 2024, and I would need that by roll call vote.
All right. Jim?
Nay.
Jimmy?
We need a motion and.
We need a motion first, that's
second,
right, we
yeah.
need a motion first, all right. Do I have a motion?
Don't want my motion.
I'll make a motion.
All right,
So moved.
we got a motion, I'll make a second, just so we can get this done. All right, we got a motion, and a second, any other discussion right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna vote, I think we're abusing our power, getting ourselves a raise, and not giving some of the organizations that really need it. So I'm gonna say nay.
All right, any other discussion?
Same reasons I said last time. I'm not gonna repeat myself.
All right, this board hasn't had a raise since 2007. Everyone else gets a raise every year except this board, and that's the honest reason that I think that the board should have a raise. All the other boards are getting raises, and why not this board? Ronnie, you have any comments?
No, I mean, I agree with what you just said, it's for a reason, you know, the time, the amount of needs of it is more than triple. And I just think it should do.
All right, any other discussion?
Well, by that theory, our members of the General Assembly would be making $50,000 a year. They haven't had a raise in probably 30 years.
Right.
For the obvious reason they don't, it's political. It's the optics of how it looks. I hadn't planned on saying anything.
It don't
but,
look good at all. It doesn't look good at all.
I mean, we limited the school
Yeah.
system to 5%, and now this is a 60% increase in salary. Percentage and what it does to the budget, but again, I just don't like how it looks.
But our elected officials up there get a whole lot more perks. They get all the perks in the world.
Well, they get one perk I would have loved to have, VRS coverage. Being a former state employee would have helped my end of the year amount, but that's just life. I didn't come into this for money.
All right,
I had hair before.
if there's no other discussion, I'm gonna call for the vote. Start with Jim.
Nay.
Jimmy? Tommy?
Nay.
Ronnie?
get you.
Ronnie?
Yeah, can you hear
Yeah, I can hear you.
me? I said, what are you calling for a vote on?
Calling for a vote on the raise of the board salary.
Is the motion yes or no?
The motion is, you're doing a roll call vote. You either vote yes or no,
Yes.
all right? And I vote yes. So the motion passes 3-2. All right, Luther, what else do you have?
All right, next item I have is the salary scale. We have not adjusted that in several years, and this takes into account doing a 3% adjustment to that salary scale. That's not the annual salary increase, which is separate. This is just for the scale purposes, for the purpose of hiring individuals. So I would just ask the board to approve the adjusted salary scale for fiscal year '24, reflecting the 3% adjustment.
All right, and you say we have not increased that in a few years?
We have not, no, sir. We actually have not modified this in any way since the salary study was completed.
All right, well, it should be increased.
I'll second. You make the motion.
I made the motion to
I'll
increase
second
it.
it. The only question and concern I have with scales is you run into the issue of salary compression. Someone starts here, but then you move it up on them, they're behind. Is there any plans to help deal with salary compression?
That was one reason that we wanted to go ahead and try to do that this year, given that we were looking at a 5% salary increase.
Right.
And then come behind that with the 3% salary adjustment, so that there wasn't, it didn't coincide with the same amount.
Well, the question is the current scale going to be plus 5%, and then on top of that, you're going to add the 3%, or is it going to be 3% plus the 5? And that sounds semantic, but it makes a difference.
So, no, all of the individuals now would get the 5%, and then the scale would be 3%.
Okay.
All right. That answer your questions? Any other questions? Ronnie, you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, if there are no more questions, I'm going to call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion passes 5-0.
All right, if you can just give us one quick second, we want to double check some numbers here since there were changes made to the budget.
All right, take your time.
Got it. All right, so I need a motion to approve the fiscal year '24 county budget in the amount of $48,670,434.
48 what now?
$48,670,434.
And what figure, what is that figure versus what was advertised? What does that reduction show?
So that would be a reduction of $4,781,337, depends on how you round.
One more time on that.
$4,781,336.
We approve the budget as suggested by the figures Mr. Tadlock stated.
Second.
We have a budget and a second. We have any other discussion?
And by dropping it $4 million, your undesignated percentage will change too, positively. Not counting the money's coming in there. Hopefully.
All right, any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? All right, motion passes 5-0.
All right, next item is setting the tax rate resolution. It would be reflected as a 61-cent tax rate, and in talking with the Commissioner of Revenue and the Treasurer, we are keeping the assessment ratio for the NADA values at 35% as it currently is.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All right. What else do you have?
Next is the appropriations resolution. So it would be a total appropriation of $41,261,218.
So moved.
All right, got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes 5-0.
And the last item is the personal property tax relief
Do that.
resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion?
That's the no car tax.
All right, no other discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. That's everything you need?
That's all I have. Yes, sir.
Anything else on your agenda?
No, sir.
All right.
Well, I do have one other item not related to the budget, but if you all have other questions related to.
All right. Any other budget questions for Luttrell? All right. You want to finish what you have?
Yes, sir. Just wanted to ask the board, the courts will be closing on July 3rd, which is a Monday. 4th of July is on a Tuesday. Is that something that the board would be interested in doing, closing county offices on July 3rd?
Is the state closing offices on the 3rd?
We have not seen anything from the state at this point. What we have seen has basically been from the courts so far.
Well, the courts have been quote-unquote very liberal with leave compared to everybody else. And the policy was to follow the state holidays. Not trying to be Grinch, but we got to be consistent with our policy.
All right, so we'll leave it as is, be open. All right, good enough. Anything else, Luttrell?
That's all I had.
All right,
I move we adjourn.
all right, I got a motion to adjourn. Oh, what was that?
Jim said aye.
All right, have a second?
Second.
Yep.
All right, got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank everybody for coming today. It's in the courtroom and in the virtual world. Thank you.